Alright guys, I got a special video for you guys today because I'm in a special place in Panama. It's about 7-hour drive away from Panama City, and I'm here at the coast. And Paradise. And I got two special guests with me today, and it's Robert Field.
What's up, guys?
Field Trips with Robert Field. And we got Dakota Dunmire.
What's up, guys?
He's the head guide over at Los Buzos Resort. So, you know, we're just gonna have a conversation and see what's up with them. So, Rob, let's start with you.
Sure.
Let's just give me a little background on where you grew up and how you got the love for the tug, like your background of fishing. Like, was it from your grandpa, your dad, or how'd you start fishing?
Yeah, man, I got a little different story than most people. I feel like that, especially the fish for a living, man. I did not fish growing up. Did not fish as a kid. Really, you know, a little bit of fishing with my grandma, but nothing really serious. And basically, I was 25 years old, 34 now, so 9 years ago, I broke up with a girlfriend. Realized I had a bunch of extra free time all of a sudden, and I was like, I need a hobby. And I went on YouTube, started just looking for inspiration, looking for ideas, and I watched this guy, Drew Gregory, who's a big name in the kayak fishing sport, and he went down the Devil's River in southeast Texas and lived on the kayak for like 4 days catching bass, and I just watched this video and I was like, I want to do that. And the next day I went out and bought a kayak and a fishing rod and a GoPro and just started like messing around with it. Fell in love with the sport, and about 3 years later ended up quitting my job to pursue it full time. So for me it was a total accident, something I fell in love with as an adult, but it just kind of felt like I had finally found my thing, you know, and I just dove in head first.
Wow, sweet, at 25.
Yeah, it's never too late to change your whole life around, man. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you to the ex then, basically.
Yeah. Don't hit her up. She's crazy. Don't hit her.
All right, how about you, Dakota?
So for me, I was born and raised in Florida, and grew up like the generation where Steve Irwin was on the TV every day, and living in Florida, we could go outside and find some animals and stuff that were pretty similar to what he was doing. And then from there, just kind of fell in love with the outdoors and animals at a very young age. And then it kind of transitioned into fishing, because fishing was the best place to be able to run into the animals as well as actively be doing something that I loved and had a great time doing it. And living in Florida, just fishing everywhere. So.
So both of you guys are self-taught then, basically.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so then what path got you here to Paradise?
Me?
Yeah, how did
Yeah.
or who was first? Who got here
Me.
first? Okay.
Me. Yeah. 2016. A couple good buddies of mine who they are actually full-time kayak fishing guides in Florida, South Florida. They met Morris, the owner here at the lodge, online, and basically Morris bought this land in this place with the intention of building a marina and doing boat fishing, big boat fishing. Then he got here, bought the land, started looking at the development, and realized that the government took a lot of money from marinas, and it just economically didn't make sense. So he met Deep Blue, Matt and Eric, and heard about this kayak fishing thing, and he was like, well, maybe I'll do that for now until I figure out this marina thing. So they put together a group, the first ever group of kayak fishermen here at Los Buzos in 2016, July, and they asked me if I wanted to go. And it's actually pretty funny. I hit Morris up, the owner here, and said, hey, I got this YouTube channel, like kind of a big deal. If you could give me half off, I'll promote your lodge, just half off the trip, you know. And at that point, at most places I'd go, I would just ask for a free trip. But this, I like knew I wanted to come. All my buddies were coming. And so I just asked for half off, and he was like, no. So I came here, spent a week fishing here, and the whole time I'm like, I'm not gonna mention Los Buzos, I'm not gonna say a word about where I'm at, this guy's getting nothing from me. And then about halfway through the trip, you know, we're catching good fish. I got a couple episodes filmed here, and he's seeing that our posts online, like mine, are just getting a lot of traction. And so the last day he came to me and said, hey, you know, you're really kind of getting this out there. How would you like to help me promote this place? And I said, sure. We worked out a deal, and so immediately that last day, I'm running around like Los Buzos, Los Buzos, Los Buzos to like kind of fill in the gaps. But the first video I put out here for my first rooster fish ever got 1 million views pretty quickly, and really kind of the rest is history. I've been coming 2 or 3 times a year since 2016, and it's pretty crazy how this place has changed. And we've seen a lot of faces come and go. But now we got Dakota here as the head guide, and he's just been doing such a phenomenal job.
So then how did you get
I get here?
Yeah.
So I was in college in 2018, and they had put out like a help wanted ad basically on their Instagram, those Buzos. And I just threw my resume into the mix, but I just had graduated with an international business and marketing degree as well, and kind of went at that angle like, hey Morris, like I can do all the fishing, but I think I can be a jack of all trades and help you guys with some other stuff as well. And got lucky, they picked me, and got here a week and a half before COVID shut the world down. So then I got stuck here for 5 months and was able to find my place and cement myself here in Los Buzos.
Wait, but how did you find Los Buzos Instagram?
Through Adam. Adam, actually. I'm from the same town as Adam Fisk, the original head guide. And yeah, just knew of him and knew of each other. Didn't know, never met until we actually got to Panama City. Yeah, we lived 15 minutes from each other for 20 years and met each other in Panama City. So yeah, and I've been here ever since.
So then you two just met here then?
Yeah, we met here, back in
right after
August of 2020. No, October of 2020.
2020, yeah.
Right when the country opened back up. I was supposed to be here in August in 2020, but COVID shut that down, and the country opened up October 12th, which was my birthday. And I came down October 14th as soon as they opened. And Morris told me I was going to meet our new head guide, or our new guide at the time, in the city. And I actually screwed up, and there was some miscommunication, but we had a hotel room booked together that Morris put together, and I didn't know, and I just stayed with a buddy of mine in Panama City, and he got to the hotel, and because it was in my name, they wouldn't let him in the room, so he actually slept on the lobby floor that night. So basically, the night...
This is who Robert filmed.
Yeah, the night we were supposed to meet, I really screwed him over, and he slept on the floor, but he's
now
still...
I booked my own hotel.
Yeah. But despite that, we've become pretty good friends. And
How was that adjustment from, it just seems like we're so far away from everything, like
Civilization?
just, like,
Well, right before here, I actually, I played lacrosse my whole life. And,
okay.
went to college for lacrosse and then got the chance to play semi-professional in Australia. So I lived in Australia for 1.5 years right before here, and being that polar opposite time zone, and like as you're awake, your whole family's asleep, and vice versa. It really kind of already adjusted me for being out here, which now being here in Panama, I'm like 2.5 hours south of my home and same time zone. And even though I'm super isolated, I still feel way closer than I did when living over down under.
Okay. How did you first blow up your YouTube channel? What do you think caught on that you?
Yeah,
that
total
people
accident.
liked?
Total accident, and not just that, but like me being an idiot basically. But so I watched that video, bought a kayak fishing rod and a GoPro, right? And I start doing this. And back then I was going to grad school full time, working full time, getting my master's in finance, wearing a suit and tie to work every day, you know. And whenever I had free time, I'd go kayak fishing. And soon after I got the kayak, I just got it in my head, I want to catch a shark from the kayak. I want to catch a big shark from the kayak. Like, I don't know why. I had no experience with that, no real reason to do that. Definitely should not have been in that mindset, but decided to do that. So I went down to Galveston, Texas, went out shark fishing, and a very long story short, I hooked my first shark. It was about 6 feet long. He towed me like a mile. I didn't know how to fish back then. I didn't know what I was doing. And I ended up getting the shark up to the kayak. I let it go, and then I'm looking for my anchor where I had left it. I had like a float on the rope, and I'm going back trying to find my anchor, and the seas had gotten real rough. There was actually a tropical storm offshore in the Gulf of Mexico at that time, and I was such a rookie and newbie that I hadn't even checked the weather before I went out. So it got really rough, and I ended up flipping my kayak, and I had like a cooler full of bait, and behind me the lid was open, so now I'm like treading water in a pool of mullet blood and chunks in water that's basically like 4 inches visibility, you know, and I'm there in Galveston because it's like the sharkiest waters in Texas. So I'm freaking out, right? I'm new to all this and I'm scared. I'm alone, I'm out there, I can't figure out how to flip the kayak back over. And there was actually this woman, Barbara, I'll never forget this lady, on the beach. She owned a little like shack that sold seashells, basically, necklaces and stuff. She had been watching me in binoculars like, this guy is an idiot. What is he doing out there in these conditions in this kayak? And she saw me flip, so she called the Coast Guard. Coast Guard sends a helicopter, launches a boat. I was finally able to get the kayak flip back over, and I got back to the beach, and these Coast Guard guys ran up to me. And anyways, I did a video of this whole thing called Offshore Trip Gone Wrong, and I put a bunch of like kind of golden rules of offshore kayak fishing, all of which I broke that day and could have been really bad. I tried to make it educational, but that video took off, and this was when my channel was nothing, and it pretty quickly got to like 4 million views, and really was the catalyst for my channel taking off, me being an idiot, you know, not in the best light, but started getting the views, and you know, about a year later, I was really taking it seriously, and the kind of momentum kept going, and I started to see like, maybe there's something here, maybe I could turn this into something a little more long term.
So I saw that video, and it was like one of your very beginning videos.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And what I found interesting was the actual production. So do you have any background in editing or camera, GoPro?
Not even a little bit.
So
and I tell people this all the time, like, nowadays, if you're self-motivated and disciplined and willing to work hard, you can teach yourself how to do anything because of YouTube and Google. Like, I literally learned how to edit videos one Google search at a time. Like, how do I do blah in whatever program I'm using? And I just kind of stumbled my way through it. And that's not the best or most efficient way to learn it. But if you're willing to put in the time and do it, and I think the key to that is enjoying it, you can teach yourself how to do anything. And again, I was going to grad school full-time, working full-time, and then I'd be up at like 2 in the morning Googling how to do simple stuff now in my mind, you know, on the editing, and I'd be editing videos at 2 in the morning, not making a dime on it, but I just really enjoyed putting it all together and putting it out there. And yeah, just really kind of stumbled my way through it.
So do you have a background in editing or photography or
No,
anything?
it's kind of the same with him, but like we can kind of take that with all of those Buzos, as he's saying. It's like we've kind of had to teach ourselves so much of this stuff, and it always just starts with a Google search or a YouTube video, and as simple as like how we jimmy rigged the kayak fish finders or something, or whatever it may be. We got all these species here at Los Buzos too that nobody else in the world has, and we had to kind of little by little find information through Google searches or YouTube videos of other people catching them elsewhere, and little by little we kind of honed it in, and yeah, just self-taught. I mean, like you said, if you're self-motivated, teach yourself anything nowadays.
Dakota's here full-time, head guide, runs the operation, and then every kayak group trip, it's either me guest guiding or Adam Fisk guest guiding. And Adam lived here for 3 years, and he really was extremely instrumental in building this whole program. And he comes here, I think, 16 weeks a year, and I'm here about 12 weeks a year. And so every trip, every group trip, it's either with guest guide Adam Fisk or guest guide Robert Field, and Dakota's here the whole time. So that's kind of how it works now. And
My system keeps it fresh. They flip-flop every other month and bring in different people. So
Adam's the one that caught the 500-pound black marlin from a kayak, biggest marlin ever caught from a kayak. Video went pretty viral. Fox News and all these outlets were sharing it. Really,
that was a week before I got here, and they had hired me on, and I see this video, and I'm like, I sent them an email right away. I'm like, hey guys, like, I've never done anything like this.
I might be in over my head. I don't know. I did not realize. Yeah.
And Adam just responds, hey, don't worry, I'm the only one in the world that has. So
yeah, don't worry. Yeah.
Well, that was
crazy.
a little scary. I seen that, and
then for your brother to hook a marlin here, first client in Los Buzos history, your brother, first one to ever hook a marlin from the kayak.
Yeah.
We've had clients land marlin from the pangas, but never had one hooked from the kayak. Sailfish, plenty of them, but not a marlin. And I got video for that. We're gonna watch it here tonight.
And I told him I don't know what he would have done and I said I don't know what I would have done because I was heading over there and I was following you. And then I said, well, if you kept going, to be honest, I might turn back.
Yeah,
later,
I don't know if you noticed, it went straight offshore. They always do. Adams towed him 17 miles over 6 hours straight offshore in the kayak. But we've got a good Marlin protocol now. We would have taken care of him if he had stayed hooked up. Yeah, because
he was like, yeah, I'm not very good with the whole south, east, west, north.
Yeah.
So
all I know is he was basically heading to Antarctica. There's not really anything that way for about 6,000 miles. So. We would have had a chase boat come out if he had kept it buttoned, but
then the other thing, he was like on the radio, Diego.
Yeah, no one was answering. Diego. I was a little nervous, if I'm being honest. It wasn't really the ideal time to hook a Marlin, but we would have worked it out.
Waiting for support.
That's only the way about an hour and a half of gas. I was like, we're gonna need some help. But. Didn't come to that, but we'll watch the video tonight. But really impressive for your brother to hook that fish. It was crazy. I was right there. Never gets old seeing those things come out of the water.
Yeah.
Especially when you know there's a kayak on the other end. That's a whole different.
The sheer force when they breach that water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dakota, do you have any advice, young, up-and-coming guys that want to do something like this?
I mean, my biggest advice is go do it. Life's too short not to. And while we are, I'm 25, while we're at this age, make the world your playground, basically. Go experience the cool stuff, go see the crazy fish and animals that are out there, and just go do it. It's worth it.
Yeah, sweet.
I'll add to that fear is what holds everybody back in life. It's the single thing that holds everybody back in life. And there's a lot of different versions. Fear comes in many forms, right? But when I had this YouTube channel up and coming, I had just gotten my master's degree. I'm in the finance industry, making pretty good money. The thought of I'm gonna quit my job and try to do this YouTube thing full time, which when I quit my job, I had made lifetime $400 off the fishing thing. So zero plan for how to support myself. And it was terrifying. The idea of abandoning what I had spent 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of grad school, 2 years in the working world, not before the grad school start, all that, to throw all that away and start over on something that at this point had not proven to me it could even buy me ramen noodles. It was terrifying. But I just kind of made the decision, F it, I'm just gonna go for it. And if it's meant to be, it will work out. And I felt that if I worked hard, I couldn't fail at it. If I just refused to lose and just worked hard at it. And at the same time though, the whole time in the back of my mind, I was like, this is crazy. My parents were like, what? You're gonna do what? Kayak fishing? How are you gonna make money? And I was like, well, I haven't worked all that out yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. And luckily my parents were very supportive, but exactly like you said, just go for it. I'm not saying quit your job today, but at least start taking steps. Do something. I had started to build this channel, and it had some momentum, and I could see that there was potential there. But until you start taking those steps, you'll never know. And it's like if I had quit my job and flopped, and this thing just didn't go anywhere, there's always more jobs out there. I'll go back and I'll go get a suit and tie job. Maybe it's not easy, but I'll get a job. But I just realized I could not live the rest of my life wondering, what if I had just gone for it? That's no way to live. Just go for it. Maybe not overnight, but start taking steps and trying to build something. You can do it. Nowadays, with social media and the internet, the way things are, you can make a living doing literally anything. Because now you can reach the whole world, and no matter what you're into, whether it's kayak fishing or underwater basket weaving, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're into, there's a million other people out there that are into it. And nowadays, you can reach those people, so you can make a living doing anything. So, just go for it.
Sweet, guys, man. I just want to thank you guys
for that. It's been such a pleasure having you guys here. It's been so much fun.
That's dope. All right, guys. There you have it. Robert and Dakota, nice guys. You guys got to get out here. We love the catch, but we love the adventure more.
I keep dancing with the devil, but it is